You're listening to ESOPOD, the Foliance ESOP podcast. Hey, and welcome to the ESOPOD. I'm Sean Hoy. I'm from IT and the ESOP communication team. And today I'm doing something a little different. I recently took a trip down to Cimarron, Oklahoma for just regular IT work, and I brought some recording equipment and had a chance to record the robotic welder that they use out on the production floor. And I've been there plenty of times and seen it. And personally, I work in IT. I find automation pretty fascinating, and this robot is no exception. So it's a great example, I think, of technology being used in production. It not only makes the pieces that they make faster and more efficient, but I think it enhances how production operates out on the floor. One key thing is consistency. So the parts that they're making here, they make over and over and over, and the ability that this robot gives them to be consistent with their parts is pretty priceless, I think. It's hard to match with humans. Humans make errors. It happens. And the robot, while you still have to position where the welds are happening, the welds themselves are much more consistent. And I talked about repetitiveness. So they're making these parts over and over. And I know injuries happen in production, and repetitive tasks are one type of injury that having this robot avoids, or at least slims down the exposure that employees have. So you'll be able to see in the video that the operators place these templates down and then let the robot weld, and then they move them and position them as it's going about doing its welding in different spots, but they're not actually doing the welding. So those types of injuries where you're doing the same task in the same order every time, and doing a lot of physical labor, that's kind of removed here, and I think that is a nice benefit as well. And then there are a bunch of different parts. So this robot, they have templates for many different designs, and those designs are used all throughout production, and they're even used at the other Cimarron production facility in Kansas. So they're able to use this one machine to supply parts for both of these locations, and I think that's really cool. And we're going to actually hear from one of the operators, Jeff Delaney, who spoke a little bit about the specifics of how the robot works, the templates, and what benefits they've seen themselves having this out in the production floor.
Let me know when you're ready. Sure, go for it. Yeah, so my name is Jeff Delaney. My partner is Chris Lanier, and give you a brief rundown of the robot. So we have over 40 different fixtures, which you can see behind us, that runs over 90 different programs or 90 different parts. Basically, we are able to make stuff that we can keep in stock, stuff that's time consuming to make for these guys to make by hand, which allows us to speed up production. Things that have a repetitive nature. Sometimes we might build the same part all day long. Sometimes it might change up. But basically we get an order cut from the saw. Once we get the parts, we will put a fixture onto the deck of the robot. Then we will load the parts in, go find the program number, type the program number into the computer, and then run the part. And I would say maybe a misconception that a lot of people have about the robot is that it's just load the parts, push the button, and walk away, but it's not that easy. You do have to adjust things as you go, and yeah.
So you have to move parts around so they can get to different
spots?
spots?
As the robot welds, parts might shift. so you might have to reposition stuff as you go.
Okay. Do you guys run this like all day, every day, pretty much?
Yeah, so we run it from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Wow.
Unless we work overtime. But
Okay.
yeah, all day, every day.
Are you producing parts just for Oklahoma, or do you produce for Kansas as well?
We do some stuff for Kansas.
Okay.
When Kansas first started opening, when they first became operational, we were making a lot more stuff for Kansas. But now we're making stuff that they just can't build in a timely fashion. But yeah. So some of the stuff we make, like I said, is stuff that we can stock here. We also will make stuff that's trailer specific. So things like dividers, ramp overs, things like that are specific to a trailer.
Okay, yeah, I know you guys do a ton of really custom stuff.
Yeah.
So they give you like an order of here's the parts we need.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of the others, like I said, the stock stuff that we make, like for instance, I'm making these AC frames, and that's just a frame that goes on the top of the trailer where an AC sits down in it. And I'm just making like 25 of those today just to keep in stock so the guys can just go grab them and go with it.
Wow. Okay. Do you want to talk about any of the inventory over here?
Yeah. So these are our fixtures or our jigs. Everything you see with a red handle is a fixture that we load parts into, and we have over 40 of those fixtures, which can produce over 90 different specific parts. So some of the fixtures you can do multiple different parts on, but that's what you see everything with a red handle.
So those are really like almost a template where you put it down and then
Exactly.
you put the part on top of.
That's exactly what it is. That's what you load the pieces in before you start.
Have you made any of the templates with the robot?
I'm sorry,
Have
what?
you made any of these templates with the robot, or do they make it out there on the shop?
No, some of them are able to be made, so you
Okay.
can set it up there and then actually program the robot to weld it as you go.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, all of these templates were made specifically for this robot, so.
How about, what's your background like to be able to run this thing?
Well, so I started at this company about 2 years ago, and I actually worked at the slat saw. I'm going to school. I actually finished my degree in computer engineering in May, which isn't required to work here, but I feel like maybe it helped to get me moved to the robot. But yeah.
Awesome. Do you have an interest outside of work in any like robotics or anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. It was nice because it just kind of meshed well with what I was doing in school.
Yeah, you get to play with like big toys here.
Yeah, pretty awesome. Yeah.
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 Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to ESOPOD. If you want to get in touch, send me an email at esopod@foliance.com.